So hi everyone, this is Shannah. This is another pick a card reading. This one is about your future child. We're going to see how your future child is going to be like. This was a request reading. It is dedicated to Leo, and of course everyone can participate, and we have 3 possibilities here. So we have here, the first one is this transparent teddy bear. It's not crystal, it's plastic. And here we have this Volkswagen miniature, so it's not supposed to be advertisement. It has a special meaning to me. So there you go. And then we have this Japanese doll. Beautiful. Direct from Japan. Now, you take your time to choose your pile, and I will see you in a couple of moments. So if you chose pile 1 with a teddy bear, this is your reading. And first of all, I'd like to explain, we're starting with a card from the decks Goddesses and Sirens, and also Gods and Titans. I mixed the 2 of the decks, so we have a fair chance of seeing if your future child is a female or a male, if it's a boy or a girl. So actually I just wanted 1 card from these 2 decks, but you got 2. And we're starting with Isis, protection, and Andromache, strength. So I hope I'm saying that right. So Greek is not really my language. And so we have here 2 girls. So you could have 2 girls, you know, could be one at a time, like with some years in between, but also twins. Now what we have here is like 2 very strong girls, right? And Isis is the Holy Mother, the mother of Horus, and she's also the partner of Osiris. She brought Osiris back from the dead, so to say, and she's a protective mother. That's why we have protection here. She's also a symbol of the feminine, of beauty, of unconditional love, of sacrificial love as well. She would do anything for her partner and also for her child. And then we have Andromache. Andromache is not a goddess. She is the queen of the Amazons, right? So these are very courageous women. They're very strong, and they're not afraid of life. So the child you're going to have, or the children you're going to have here in this case, they're very, very strong. And they also, but strong in a loving way, you know, although Andromache is a warrior, but with Isis here together is like fighting for the right cause, right? And it's like being in favor of the underdog, protecting the weak, and giving a voice to those who don't have a voice. So this is a very strong personality. Could be that the child later in life will be an activist, will stand for a cause, or will be protecting a community, or inspiring people, helping people. These are energies that are very strong, very protective, and fighting for what is right, right? And very attractive. They're like, from the looks, these are very attractive girls, but they stand out for their strength of character, and they're also very intelligent. And because I was saying they have this warrior-like personality, but they're not just starting fights or getting into trouble for no reason. So they know when to act, they know when to talk, they're very strategic, they're very intelligent, and they know how to use their intelligence and talents and perform to their best abilities as well. So they're also very disciplined, very disciplined. They're fast learners, and they love to learn, but they also love to be physically active. They have to have a sport, to learn a skill, something that, because they have so much energy, they have so much creativity, they have to do something with their body, you know, like a sport or dancing, something where they can release this energy in a creative way or in a positive way. Yeah. And I have the feeling they're also someone people will turn to when they need advice, when they need help, when they need some inspiration or guidance. Yeah. And they'll always be there for their friends no matter what. No matter what, they'll stand with their friends and family. They'll be, like I said earlier, very protective, and they don't let anyone down, and they'll help them as well as they can. Always. They're very altruist, so they're there for the other people. They're helpers. But, you know, they don't have this helper syndrome, so it's not a case of getting recognition or love through helping. Is really having compassion, pure compassion for other people. Yeah. So let's see what the other cards say. Then we have here ships. This is written in Portuguese, but it means ships. So this is a love of travel. This is moving countries or traveling a lot. Is someone, so your child, or in this case, like I said, children, is very curious about the world, other cultures, wants to know different people, customs, is very open to what is different, and likes to really get in touch, personally in touch, to be there, to smell the smells, to see the sights, to really talk to the people of the countries they visit. So they're not this kind of tourist that goes to these expensive hotels and never mingle with the population, which is okay. Sometimes you just need that kind of holiday. But your children, they're more like getting in touch with the people, no matter where they are. If they're in Europe, you know, North America, South America, Africa, India, Australia, they like to be in touch with the people, to know the customs, to understand where the people come from, to know their history, their culture. And they'll be traveling a lot through their lives. And it could be also because of work. So they can have, what I feel is that they have a home, like a nest, where they always return to, but they'll be traveling a lot. It's like the world becomes their home. So, and it could be, again, because of work. But I have like this sense of a roaming personality, of a very independent personality as well. Yeah. Then we have attraction, number 44. And with the number 44, again, it's double 4. I have the feeling here of twins again. And with attraction, here, this is very important. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is they're very attractive. I'm speaking like in they form the whole time. I really have the feeling it's twins. But they're very attractive, physically attractive, very beautiful people. But also here in the attraction is they attract the good things of life. They're really able to let go of things that are not good for them, or people that are not good for them, and attract the right people, attract the right situations. So they have this aura, this charisma, this attitude that always brings them to the right place at the right time, making traveling very exciting. So they never put themselves in a dangerous situation. They're always safe, is what I get here as well. They're always very protected as well in their journey, in their way. And they have a very positive way of thinking. And they're always surrounded by people that help them, that inspire them, and always bring them further in their journey. And this, of course, this is the supermoon as well. So it could be that they're also very dramatic people. They're very passionate. They have really strong emotions. So they're not this really nice and quiet type. They have a very strong presence, and they can be loud, and they're passionate. They love to laugh. They also love to party. They love to be in the middle of the attention, in the middle of what is happening. And so they're not the quiet type. They're not. They're very lively, and they're full of passion. And then we have cornucopia. Look, now we have an 11. So like I said, I really believe these are twins. With cornucopia, again, it goes together with this attraction quite well, because they attract this abundance. So they'll never be lacking money. They'll never be lacking resources. They attract the resources to them. Like I said, they're always able to be at the right time, at the right place, with the right people. So they will also have lots of possibilities when it comes to their career. They'll be financially secure, allowing them to travel. But I believe as well that their career has to do with travel, or they have to travel a lot during their career. And I have like the feeling like doing workshops, I don't know why, or talking to a large audience. Again, I have the feeling here there's really a large audience talking to people, spreading some kind of message or some kind of theory or explaining something. And that brings them to travel from country to country. Yeah, but they'll always be financially secure. They always have everything that they need. So they're very lucky. So your children will always be very lucky, very protected during their lives. And then this is now in German, and it means a teaching occupation. I'm just, translating this loosely from the German. And then here it said, you inspire young people to learn, right? So it could be that they work as coaches, or they work as teachers, or they work even like psychologists, for instance, but they work with young people, or their work is about young people. But again, what we have here as well is the word inspiration. And that's what I was getting right at the beginning. They inspire other people. Their presence inspires, and I have the feeling also the whole time of this communication. They're very good communicators. And somehow this is a project. I have the feeling they're involved in a project where they have to travel a lot. And you could see, maybe like for something like UNICEF, that would be an idea. Working with children or young adults, working with people and spreading knowledge, spreading ways of teaching. Maybe they'll revolutionize the way that our children are taught. That will also be nice. And then we have Aphrodite, romantic love. So again, like I was saying earlier, they're very attractive. Your children, and then we have two. It's going to be two girls. And they're very attractive. They're very beautiful. And here with romantic love, again, maybe there are some lessons they have to learn here in the realm of love. Maybe that will be the challenge in their lives, because I see like financially and career-wise, everything is going great. But here this card is quite positive. So I don't think there will be major problems when it comes to love, but there'll be some challenges here. That's the feeling I get. They'll be lucky in love as well, but there are some challenges here. If at all, it will be here in the love section. But what I feel is that they can overcome these challenges. There's like some lessons or some programs that they have to overcome, like I said. Yeah. So, but again, they're very beautiful. They're very loving. They're wonderful friends. They're really fun as well. And wherever they go, they're just stunning. People stop and stare. So your children, your two girls, they're going to be just beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And then, okay, then we have, it's also in German, this means twin flame or twin flames. And this is Angus. So, yes, twins. Really twins. So I think group 1, be prepared so that you probably will have twins. And look, we have 2 cards with these 2 girls, 44, 11 here. And we have number 2 and then the twin flame card. This is amazing. I love it. And now, the way they look, it all depends on you, how the way they look, but they're going to be beautiful again. This card here is supposed to be very beautiful. And they're very pure as well, and they love nature. And again, if you see here, they have a big connection with the ocean. Maybe you live already by the ocean and your children will be born there and grow up there. But the feeling I have is that they will move to the ocean. And even can be that their career can also have something with the ocean. Be it activists, like I said at the beginning, protecting our oceans and making people aware. And it could be that they work with young people in order to make them aware of the ocean. Because look here, she's showing the alphabet with butterflies. So showing about nature, making them aware. And I have the feeling they'll probably love water sports as well. And they're very kind. They're very kind people. They're passionate. So, especially when they're young, like teenagers and young adults, they can be a bit crazy as well. So fun crazy, not crazy crazy. But they have a very gentle heart, nevertheless. They're very kind. And they're also very respectful. And they have a wonderful education. So I'm congratulating you already for raising your children in such a beautiful way, because they're very polite, very respectful, and still very strong and independent and strong-minded and strong-willed as well. And they're very charismatic and people want to be around them. So beautiful children, beautiful, beautiful children. So pile 1, this is what I have for you. I hope it resonates. I hope it inspires you as well. And I wish you a wonderful time full of love. So if you chose pile number 2 with the blue Volkswagen, so this is your reading. Now, what I did before we move on is I used these 2 decks at first, the Goddesses and Sirens and Gods and Titans. And I mixed them because this is just women, this is just men. I mixed them and shuffled them and to see at least like more or less which gender your child will be. And for you, pile number 2, we got 1 card, and this is Hecate, illumination. So this is also from the Greek mythology. And Hecate actually habitates, so to say, or lives in Hades. Hades is what we understand as being the Greek hell, right? But don't be scared. Don't be scared, because actually Hades, in a psychological sense, stands for the subconscious, right? And Hecate brings light into darkness. And so what you have is like a sun child, but not, let's see if I put this way in a way that makes sense, but not like a UPA kind of sun child. Is a sun child that is not afraid of the dark and calls it by name. So this is a really deep child, right? It's a happy one, so don't be afraid. It's certainly not going to have a depressed child. It's going to be a happy one, and it's going to make people around them happy. Because, as you see here, she's holding a key as well. So she holds the key for people's happiness. She knows how to make people happy. She knows the secret to their healing, the secret to their satisfaction in life. And she helps people realize it, right? And this is what makes your child quite special and quite even different from others, but in a good way. Your child can see through people, in the sense your child can sense if someone is being honest, if someone is being real, if someone is lying, if someone is trying to deceive them or their families. They can sense this, and they can act on it, and they can call it by name. Of course, as then they will grow older, they will learn to be more diplomatic. But the thing is, this child will also be outspoken. So to avoid embarrassing moments, beware, because your child will tell the person that they're lying. Your child is outspoken because they're very truthful. They're very pure. And they say what they think, right? And children are very impulsive when it comes to that. And so don't be surprised if they do that. But they'll call people out if they're not being pure, if they're not being real. And your child will also love animals and will have a very strong connection to the animal kingdom, especially with dogs. Because Hecate also had a dog, the three-headed dog, whose name I totally forgot. I'm sorry for that. But maybe you can write on the comments and help me out there. Or maybe I'll write in the comments later. But the three-headed dog that was guarding the entrance of Hades. So your child will also have a strong connection to the canine world. Could be even wolves, could be dogs. And for your child is honesty and being truthful to your own moral compass is the most important thing. And I've just used now a very general term like your moral compass, because each culture has slightly different moral compasses, and they're all right because each culture is different. So, but your child is very correct, not in a boring, strange way, but it's correct. It's like your child is just and will fight for justice as well. So what I get from this card alone is maybe your child will be, for instance, a psychologist, helping people through their darkness, right? And help them find their own key out of their problems. And if your child is a psychologist, it will be an amazing psychologist. And could be also a detective, for instance, and it could be a judge, could be someone that makes sure the law is observed, but in a positive and just way. And could be a lawyer as well, although nowadays police and lawyers, they're not standing in a very good light, unfortunately. But remember, there are wonderful people still working in these professions. Whatever direction your child is going to take, your child is going to follow their hearts, and they're going to be very good at what they do. And they will always inspire people. They always bring light to the lives of other people, which is beautiful. And also one thing here, they can also be artists, bringing light, bringing inspiration to the lives of people as well. Now, let's see what else. Oh, and another thing, this card has so many messages just before, because Hecate is also called the Queen of the Witches all over the world. So your daughter can also have a very strong link to the esoteric, to the otherworldly, to spirituality, to magic. So, and it can come really natural for them, right? So they can have a sixth sense. They can be psychics, natural psychics. They can be an indigo child, for instance. So then we have here, this is not from the Portuguese, they have finances. Then they have angels. Now, your child can be what people now call earth angels. And this makes sense with the Hecate card. And even if for you may even be some relief, because Hecate can be a bit heavy. But it's really like an earth angel and bringing light to the world, bringing relief to the world, bringing hope and inspiration. And your child probably will earn money with spiritual work, right? Or esoteric work. But here as well, one of the messages here is like your child may be so much in this psychological and spiritual realms that your child doesn't have much connection to the material world. You know, that can be the challenge of your child, that they're not very good with money. And it's not that they don't work, it's not that they're lazy, it's only that they're not very good with money. So maybe, you know, if you're planning having a child and you picked pile number 2, maybe you could help the child out, you know, getting in touch with the value of money and the responsibility and what it means, you know, to pay bills. Just explaining and letting the child take part in that side of life as well and see how it works, so that then they're adults, they won't have much of a problem with it. Because they can be, for instance, people that just spend too much, and not because they're greedy or they're stupid. It's just they don't really realize the value of money and the consequences of when dealing with it, right? So, but your child can earn money like doing, for instance, the kind of job I'm doing. But I have the feeling here your child will go more into healing. That's why I was saying like professions like a psychologist, could be even a Reiki healer, could be a therapist, could be any kind of healing that brings spirituality, and even artists, because artists also bring healing to people, also inspire them. And I'm getting for some of you actors and comedians. Comedians make people laugh, right? And laughing is the best remedy, as we all know. I'm also getting that side, and singing and making music. Really inspirational. So your child is very inspirational. I'm really getting that energy. So it's really beautiful. And then we have will. And it's number 13. Now, with the will card, so your child will be very strong-willed. And even if the odds are against your child during their life, they will fight through it. So what you have here is a fighter. And this child is not afraid of life. And if during their growing up, they develop some kind of fears or phobias, they will fight them, they will overcome them, they'll do anything in their power to overcome them as well. And it's like, and they're very strong. And, right, and what I get here with the will is manifestation. And with number 13 as well, they're able to manifest things. And it seems like it's out of willpower, of sheer willpower. They want it, they get it. It's not negative. I'm not feeling any kind of negative energy here, but it's like they understand how it works. And they can adapt their will to the realities of the world, and vice versa. Really interesting, really interesting. And what I'm getting the whole time is like they're very powerful. And they can attract money as well. I think the only flaw, if to say here, is they're not very good at dealing with it. But money will always be coming in, but they should, they don't have to, but they should then learn to deal better with it. But they're always protected also here with this angel energy. They're very protected by angels, and they're very inspired. And maybe they even channel these angelic forces and energies. Like I said, they're here to help people. They're really earth angels, or they're like an earth channel for these other entities. No matter what they do, no matter what kind of work, they'll always channel that divine energy. Then we have journey number 2. So your child will probably leave home really early. You know, the earliest I'm getting now as an age is 16, but it could be later. But they're not going to stay at their natal home for very long. They want to see the world, and they're very independent. They want to, okay. You can be here that, now here with the finances, it can be that they get a bit overprotected and they're hungry for life. So they will leave home and they'll like change country twice. That's what I'm getting here. Yeah. And at least twice, like for a longer time than just a vacation, of course. And it's like the adventure. They're very curious about other kinds of life, but for them it's the adventure itself of going alone out in the world and see what happens. So it's really the energy I'm getting here with this journey card and the will is like, let's see what happens. Let's see what turns my life will have if I go left or right. And very spontaneous as well. It is like your child will have these spontaneous ideas and act on them. And also this feeling of adventure and saying, okay, I've been here long enough. I know how it works. Let's see how it is somewhere else. And now this is German, and his Freiheit means freedom. And it says here, you are free to do that. No, okay, I'll try that again. You are free to do what you decide, more or less. Freely translated from German. And we have 2 cards from this deck. We have crystals. Your connection to crystals and precious stones is a channel for healing energy. So again, we have this healing energy. I really believe your child could be a healer, but there are many ways of healing, so they don't have to make it their main profession, but they're very linked to the earth element, to the crystal element, and also to the animal world, and also to water. Maybe they grew up, or they'll grow up by the water. They're very linked to the water element as well, to the animal kingdom, like I was saying earlier, and to crystals. So they're very linked to nature, and they're really linked to our planet as well. And what they love the most is freedom. And because these cards are pulled out to see like what kind of profession would your child have and what career would they follow. But the answers we get here is just healing. Like I was saying earlier, no matter what your child will do, and it has to come from them, they won't, follow anyone's footsteps. They won't follow tradition in a sense like my parents did this, I will do this as well. They need to be free, and they also need a profession that gives them a lot of freedom of movement, of creativity. And like I said earlier, no matter what they decide to do, they will be healing. No matter what they do, they'll always be channeling this divine energy, this healing energy. Really, really beautiful. Now, here we also got 2 cards, and this is the White Buffalo Calf Woman, Reverence, and the Morrigan, Death and Magic. So here we have like 2, at first glance, really different cultures. We have the North American culture, and we have the North European culture. But they're not that different. The thing is, they're all about magic. There are different kinds of magic, of course. Here we have the White Buffalo Calf Woman, and it's about this peace, bringing people together, bringing harmony. And here with this magic is more a question of power. But again, it's also the unknown, it's also the subconscious or the unconscious at play. And what we saw earlier is your child will have this kind of power. Your child can really see through people and can help them come out of moments of darkness. And the interesting thing is that alone by the presence of your child, moods change. The atmosphere of a place, right? The ambience changes. The energies of a room, they change. They bring peace. They bring understanding. It's like people feel at ease when your child arrives, even if they don't understand why and how it came to be so. And your child is able to manipulate this, and even manipulate it in a way to bring more darker energies if your child would choose to do that, but it won't. That's why we have the two cards. This card is to show us here your child would have or will have the power to manipulate energies around them, but this card then tells us it will do it in a positive way. And like I was saying, your child will be then very connected to the earth energies, and that's why we have here the white buffalo calf woman. Your child is a one of a kind, and spiritual people will recognize her just by looking at her. They will know. It's their energy, right? And it's a very powerful energy, not to be played with. So your child will have this immense responsibility of using it wisely and to help people. But that's what they'll do. They will decide kindness and compassion over and over again. They'll decide for a for kindness and compassion over and over again. But passion is not the wrong word, actually, because of this card. Your child is very passionate, in the sense is very intense, very, very intense. And even if on the outside they look peaceful, like look at her, she looks peaceful, but you know at the same time they're very intense. And here with the white buffalo calf woman, she looks very peaceful, very calm, but inside of them there's this power, there's this intensity. And that's why they are very, very charismatic. That's why people notice when they enter a room. They can change the energy of a room just by being there and being themselves. They don't even have to try. They just do it and bring calmness to many people. Their presence will heal. And that's why they need this freedom. They need to be able to move around as they please. It's like they have this calling. They know where to go. They know where to be and for how long. And that's why they need also to change home. Yeah, I think twice in their lifetime, but it could be more. It's they have this calling, and they need to be places. Just be there sometimes. They, even if they don't understand it themselves. And yeah. And they also need time to regenerate as well, because they can feel the energies of other people. They need time, and that's why working with crystals can be a very good idea in order to regenerate their energies. And then we have the spiritual law of attraction, and this is Melchizedek. I hope I said it right. And this is very similar to what I was telling you earlier. Let's put here the cards together, Will, and also here the Morrigan. Your child has this power of creating realities, has power of manifesting what they want, right? And attracting the right situations also to their lives. They, up to a point, they won't understand how it works, but when they understand how it works, they will put it to use in a very positive way, helping everyone around them. And they have a knack, they will have a knack to understand reality in a way that is more complicated than I could tell you. I'm having the images in my head, but the different facets of reality, they understand them. And I don't know if they'll ever be able to explain them to anyone, but it's like they experience them and it's very clear to them. They move in different, almost like dimensions. And they're always in contact with the spiritual world. They have a very profound connection and understanding of life and the universe and spirituality. And that's why I have this feeling that, for instance, they don't even have to have like a career where, like, what, be it tarot reading, healing, or Reiki, or they don't need it, because, like I said, they just need to be there in order to heal people. So they can do whatever they want in life because it will be the right thing at that time. Interesting. So he's going to have a very charismatic child, a very spiritual, powerful, and positive child that will help many people during their lifetime. So that was intense, but beautiful, really beautiful. Thank you, Pile 2. So, and I hope it resonates and inspires you, and I wish you a wonderful time full of love. So if you chose Pile 3, this is your reading. Now, before we start, is for the first card, I combine 2 decks. I combine the Goddesses and Sirens and the Gods and Titans. So we could see at first if it's going to be a boy or a girl, right? So, and this card came up, and this is Vishnu, balance. So it's going to be a boy. And so Vishnu is part of the Holy Trinity in the Hindu culture. And I hope I'm saying everything right. And so we have, in the Trinity, we have Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, right? And Vishnu is for preserving, is this preserving force. Because we have Brahma for creation, Vishnu for preserving, and Shiva for destroying. So it's like this big wheel of creation, destruction, the wheel of life. And so your child will also be here to preserve, but it could be a way of life, could be the planet, could be peace, could be a community. So they bring a lot of peace and unity, and they bring people together. And your child will also have many different talents, and they can apply them in the same direction. So these talents won't be contradicting one another. It's more like he can include all these talents in one direction. And your child is very courageous and is ready for life, and it's very in the present moment, and it's open to everything that life has to offer, and is ready to make the best out of it. It's like considering the life also a game, in the sense like acting, reacting, responding, coming up with solutions, enjoying, being grateful, and receiving, and then responding, and so on. So it's an eternal act of creation, of going forward, of playing. So it's actually, your child will see life as something joyful, of something that's always happening and always bringing new things. And your child will also be very creative. Could even be a dancer is what I'm getting from the image, actually. But could be, very creative and bringing always new ideas and experimenting and trying out and seeing how things work. Very curious about life and very happy about everything that's happening. So it's going to be a very happy child, I have the feeling. Yeah. Then we have This comes from the Portuguese authority figures and then community life. So you got 2 cards from this deck. Now, the thing is, your child, when they're grown up, they can become a figure of authority in a community. And they can be the head of a community even. Like, remember when I told you they bring people together, they preserve a way of life. So they could be that they preserve a community, and it could be even like an alternative lifestyle, it could be a more natural lifestyle. It doesn't have to be off the grid or hippie life, but more like alternative or more close to traditions, more close to the earth, respecting nature, for instance. On the other hand, it could be that your child will have some problems with authority figures. And doesn't mean that they're going to break the law, but it could be that they don't like to take orders, right? They like to be free, they like to do their own thing, and they can be a bit alternative, like I said. They're not very traditional in a conservative kind of way, although Vishnu as such is a conservative god because they conserve, they preserve, but it's very free, it's very free thinking. And maybe your child will have problems like obeying orders. They don't like it very much. They like to live free. And they prefer, for instance, a life in community than, for instance, in this capitalistic way of life we're in, or most of us at least. They want to preserve, they want to fight for, or, you know, they just want to be among equals, is what I'm getting as a message, among equals, but they will be an important figure in this movement or in this community or in this cause. They will be a very important figure. Then we have Waxing Crescent 4, and this is number 6, self-love. And your child needs time for themselves. Yeah. Because they're very active, they're very helpful as well, they're very energetic, they're very creative, they're always, I have the feeling they're always working, they're always doing stuff with people and for people. They're really a busybody, they're very active, but they need to learn also to take time for themselves, to really recalibrate, to regenerate, to recuperate, right? To really be gentle with themselves, because they have a lot of power, a lot of energy, but it can be that sometimes they overdo it. So this is something they have to learn, is to take some time out and really be loving with themselves. And the moment they learn this, or they are reminded of doing this, this is something they really love to do. Having time for themselves, having some time out, and just spending on resting or meditating or taking a long bath, just doing what they love and having the peace and quiet that they need. So they will need this, you know. So there are moments where your child just will want to retreat and be quiet. Even if it's just 5 minutes, they will need that time for themselves. And then after that time, they'll come back full of energy and wanting to conquer the world. So, and then Door to Romance 33, and it's 33, and this is a 6, really nice. Now, your child will be very, very lucky in love. And this is beautiful, you know, and it could be, I have the feeling for the majority of you that your child they will find their mate, their partner, quite young, right? And it will be their forever partner immediately. For some other of you, they will probably have multiple partners, but will be something that is beautiful and fun at the same time, right? They're very good looking. They're very attractive for most of you. That's what I'm getting here. They're very pleasing because they're very nice. They're very nice people. They're very happy people. And they have this charisma. Like I said, they're able to bring people together. They're able to put projects into motion, to start projects and work through them. So they're very sought for as well. People want to work with him. They want to be around him and to bathe in that energy. And so they will have a lot of people loving them, in the sense wanting to be with them in a romantic way. But I don't see your child being promiscuous in any way. I don't have that feeling, because they're also a very sensitive soul. But let's say, like in the area of love, they'll be very, very lucky. And then we have, now I forgot the word in English. Fantastic. Let me think. Has to do with food. I forgot the word. It'll come to me in a second, but it's food, put it that way. And he says, you heal through your culinary abilities or cooking abilities, right? So maybe your child will be a cook and will be a renowned cook as well. Because we have this figure of authority. So no matter what your child chooses to do in life, they'll have authority, they'll be important, they'll be successful, you know, be it in a certain community or being at like the biggest community of all, the planet Earth. And they're very good cooks. Even if they do it, they don't do it as a profession. It's something they love to do, and something that also calms them down and helps them relax and concentrate as well. Let's see what the other cards say. Then you have Go Now, Serapis Bay. Again, with this card, your child is very active. Your child is always on the go, I have the feeling. Very active and very inspiring. Again, it will be an authority figure. It will be someone that leads the way to other people, will guide them in certain situations. Well, I'm even getting like law situations, will guide people, will advise them. And again, I have the feeling like fighting for a cause, protecting something precious. Could be a culture, could be a tradition, could be a nature, could be a piece of land, protecting it. And your child, like I said, is so active, so on the go, and so in demand as well, like I was saying earlier, because I'm getting the attention here of this card that is hiding now. Very sensitive. Your child really needs to learn to take care of himself. You know, like I said, with learning to cook, it will be something amazing that will change his life for the better, in the sense, at first they know how to cook and survive. Fantastic. Second is, for them, it's really something is healing for them. It really helps them. And maybe they can also help other people with that. Then we have two cards here from this deck. This is Yi, the sun. So I'm not mistaken, this is the Aboriginal sun goddess. Sorry. And then we have Siridwin, potential. What I get here from these two cards, like I was saying earlier, your child will be very, very talented. Your child will have different talents. And it's something that people will recognize very early on. And your child will have the opportunities to grow and even probably get mentoring from authority figures, like I was saying, and get help in order to grow and expand and be successful in the community. And so there's a lot of potential there with your child of really being successful, of being influential, of being inspiring. And with inspiration is here the sun. Like I was saying, your child is a very happy person, very charismatic. And also here it's like it's a ray of sunshine to other people, brings the inspiration. And you see here with the staff and the light. So it's a source of light for other people. It's guidance, it's inspiration, it's protection. It's where people can go to if they have problems and if they need guidance. And I see here also a country with lots of sunshine. You know, maybe they'll move there or they'll like to go there very often. A country with lots of sunshine. It's very warm and very, very nice. And very exotic. Exotic from my standpoint, because I'm in Europe, right? And so you're going to have a really happy child that they use their potential to help other people and inspire, and very attractive, loving, well-educated, and they know how to cook. It's just amazing. So, file number 3. This was your reading. I hope it inspires you and it resonates. And I wish you a wonderful time full of love. Thank you.